guys, how's it going? Welcome back, of course, to the Time Bomb channel, and I hope all is good in your part of the world. Watch review of the SEIKO PROSPEX SNJ025P1. Is it the best Digi watch you can get your hands on? Quick shout out to First Class Watches. Massive thanks to them, as always, for the loan of this one. And again, please do mention the Time Bomb channel if you speak to them about any watches. Yeah, let me just get the boxes and things out of the way. So yeah, the Arnie is by no means a new watch, but I do like looking back at previous releases that are now becoming easier to buy with reduced prices, but they're still offering a lot of bang for your buck. And this one in particular, obviously offering a lot of variety for your buck as well. There's nothing standardized about this one. It's hard to deny, I think, as well, the historic movie influences behind the watch contributing to my liking of it. But I think even without the backstory, it ticks many boxes as just being a little bit awkward, a little bit nerdy, and a little bit odd. So key speckage, as always, is around 47.8, so you can call that 48 mils as a circle. And you're probably going to get perhaps 50 mils north to south on the ends of those lugs. It's then 13.8 mils deep, and it does sit on 22 mil lugs, so it might be a bit of a G-Shock alternative for some, as strap swaps are going to be really easy, because then you don't have to get the adapters that you do for G-Shocks if you want to swap it out. Let me just throw it on. Yeah, so on wrist, my wrist is 7¼ inch for reference. And yeah, it's a pot. It's a pot sitting on your wrist, but it's supposed to be. It's an ISO, what is it, 6452 rated dive watch, tool watch. So it's supposed to be like that. And again, it is a direct recreation, shall we call it, of that original watch. So yeah, if you've got a 5-inch wrist, it might not work for you. If you want a dress watch for the office, it might not work for you, but that's not what it's about. It weighs 114 grams on this strap, so it's not too heavy at all. A lot has been said about these straps. I mean, this one's been lent into the channel for review, so I'm not going to be able to wear it for a very long time in order to be able to tell you how it holds up, or what it's like to wear in the heat. You've got hardlex up top. It's sat quite deep within that bezel, so it should sort of withstand a few knocks. Obviously, being solar and powering that Digi display is the H851 movement. It's a little bit of an odd movement with some odd features. For example, there's a sleep mode. And at night, your hands don't move until light hits the dial. Now, I've tried to film this, but of course, every time I turn the phone on with a camera, it comes on a light and the thing wakes up. I kind of like, it's a little bit, so apologies for not being able to show some evidence of that. I like the idea of power saving on solars even. It's a little bit of impractical on this one though, because if you've got a loomed watch, it's to see the time in the dark, but if the hands don't move in the dark, you're kind of looking at a loomed watch showing you the wrong time. The other aspect that is odd is that if you want to operate the light, you've got to unscrew this in order to get the light to work on the Digi display. Now again, it's a little bit of an odd choice, that if your hands are frozen because the watch has gone to sleep and you need to see the time, you've got to unscrew that to there. Again, just a little bit of an odd choice, I think. Obviously then, to set the time, so you've got a screw down on all of these. This is your this one down here at the 8 is your adjust button, and then obviously over here at the 3 you then have your screw in to adjust. And as you see, as soon as you pull it out, you can then see you start move across here to then being able to adjust your time. And you give this little bit of a spin at the top. You can feel a click as it does that, and it goes through the times. And then when we pop it back in here, you will then see that the Digi drives the analog hands, and it'll spin round to start working. I absolutely love the synchronization between the digi and analog hands here. I think it's it's the best side of that movement. But for me, the downside to that is that the digital display on there, I think, is way too small. And if you look at the recent the recent releases of these, they've admitted that, and they've cut out more of the dial to allow that to come through. The hour and minute hand on here, yes, they're small, a little bit stubby, but I think if they were bigger, they would eat into too much of the dial, and I don't have an issue with. I think you can tell the time with the hands the length that they are. I think the bezel grip as well is a little bit limited here. I think on the tuners, for example, or even the baby tuners, the cutout there is a little bit lower, giving you better access and purchase area. You can still operate it. Yeah, it's not the most refined of bezels, but again, I don't think it's supposed to be. And yeah, I can live with this. And the alignment is okay-ish. It's not precise, but again, I think it's something that we could live with. There are plenty of mods for these as well, particularly the steel shroud is a very popular mod, with many people saying that these plastic shrouds do take a beating. Again, that's kind of what they're designed for, I suppose, is that they're then replaceable, whereas your watch then is fully protected. You do have the blue versions of these as well, but I'm not overly keen on the paddy branding. And the range has expanded, and you can really pick up, as I said earlier, quite a few variants with the Safani and the Urban Arnie and the all sorts of things like this. So they've put some effort into giving you some variety on this one. If I were in a position to buy myself a new watch in the next few months, I think this is probably one of them. It's got some really ugly, tooly attributes that just work for me. Big question, of course, on everybody's lips. Is it better than the other best Anadigi on the market right now? Well, I kind of think I'd like to have a place for both of them in my watch quiver. I think the digi display on the Citizen is way better, way clearer. But the Arnie just has, the Arnie attributes. And as I say, I think they could work very, very well together in your watch quiver. It would be a really tough call to choose between one or the other. Anyway, those, as always, are just my thoughts. Over to you guys. Massive thanks again to the good people over at First Class Watches for the loan of this one. And we will catch you all in the next watch video. Cheers, guys.